Hey guys and girls, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity with myself, Lewis. Hope you're brilliant, having yourself a great day as always. Now I have to apologise for the lack of FTB Infinity episodes over the last few days. I've been having a bit of a problem with the mod pack and I've managed to sort it out. Yeah, so we're back and I can get into my world now, which is always a good thing. So I'm going to show you around what I've been doing and we're going to go off and play with a little bit of forbidden magic today, I think. So I've made this little farmcraft area here. I'm eventually going to try and make something a little bit fancier than this, but you know, it's just a mixture of random blocks at the minute. And then we've got a sheep, and I did manage to get myself, and I don't know where he's gone, but I got, oh there he is, look, I got myself one of these guys, a little hobgoblin. No one has fine. I thought it would be handy to have one of these because, well, you know, we'll probably have to go into that at some point, so yes. Now, I've also done a load of research, got some bits together, which is nice. I've got my little crucible here. I put a little tank under here because I was so lazy. I attached some of this to it, so it auto refills our crucible. It's the laziest way of doing it, but it's pretty funny. Now, I've already done a little bit of forbidden magic. Let me show you in here, and I've already learned. Let's have a look. Where is it? Somewhere around here we have the umbral rose. Yeah, I've done one of these, so this goes ahead and allows us to place these rose bushes and then they spread out like this. And with these little guys, we can take these and I believe we can turn them into shadow ink and we can use this ink in our fulmic stuff. So there's that, but yeah, these guys kind of spread, which is nice. I've made a couple. Eventually, I'm going to go around here. I'm probably going to grow them all along these little pathways. I've also made myself my infusion altar with a load of these. We got buttloads of shards from the quarry, so we're never going to run out of shards. As well as making something cheap and cheerful, I made a load of tallow candles underneath here as well, which work kind of nicely. And the thing is, whenever it comes to using stuff that improves your chances of not having any issues when you do all this, oh my god, 1710 music. Thank you very much for playing over the top of the record. Yeah, so these guys, they improve your chances of not having any issues whenever you do any infusion. But the good thing with Farmcraft is you can use the same thing. It really doesn't make a difference. You know, if you want to use the same thing, it does look ugly, but you can do it. And that's why I kind of tucked them all underneath here like this, so we can get in there and change them around if we choose to do so. But to be honest, it's probably going to be just fine, as well as the crystals up here. If we do have any issues, I can put more on top, but I think that is pretty much going to nab any issues that we have on the head. Obviously, there is a small chance we might have it now and then, but that should do the trick. I've also got myself some of these, which is good. I've got myself my my fulmic robes and things. I've been using these, and a gold-banded great one. So I haven't really gone too far into it, but I've beelined for the progression stuff. You know, we could have gone straight for tools and whatnot, but I was like, no. I want to get as fast onto this as I can. So I made this stuff, got my gold-banded wand, made these guys, set it all up, and then started playing around with forbidden magic. So I haven't really got that far into it today. Look at the little squirrel right there! Oh my god, then we got two of them doing things. Hey! Oh, what a guy. So what we need to do is I would like to first make myself a ring. Now, there's a particular ring from Forbidden Magic that I'd like to try out, which I think is going to be helpful, like, a fair bit with food. Because I always end up eating lots, you know, it'd be cool to find something that helps that out. So I researched this ring of nutrition. Now, people keep scolding you. They insist that you can't just eat cookies all day or that. Nutrition doesn't work like that. Well, you've had it with these naysayers. The Ring of Nutrition provides a boost to the food and saturation value of most of food you eat while wearing the ring on your finger. Side effects may include nausea, headaches, cramping, vertigo, diabetes, and sudden interest in homeopathy. So, yeah, we'll forget about those and go along our merry way. Now, we do have to get these gluttony shards. Now, I've never actually farmed shards for forbidden magic before. I've never really gone into forbidden magic that much, so I'm kind of interested to see how this works. But when we look inside here, it does tell us a little bit about the types of shards. So we want a gluttony shard. It says here, gluttony shards crystallize when someone feasts, and all of these shards can be found in the Nether. So that's where we need to go to do this. So let's head over to the Nether. Actually, before we do that, because I keep getting asked to show the pages in the book, so I'm going to quickly show you the pages in these. I'm not going to stop on them. I'm just going to kind of run through them so you can see. So this is the Tech Age of the Nebula. So we have void plains, single biome, caves. You can see it like this. You can stop if you want to see it. I'm just going to quickly go through them because there's 28 pages in each one. I don't want to spend half the episode reading out all the different types that are in there, but yeah. So that is that one right there, and then this one is these guys, so Enchanted Forest. And again, I'm just going to kind of go through them one at a time in an orderly fashion so that you can see. This one actually only has 20 pages, and I went a bit over the top with the first one was more of a test world for me to try and see if I can get it right, and it's not perfect, whereas I quite like the magic one, so yes. Alright, let's make our way over to the Nether. I'm purposely not eating anything, because I've never tried to do this before, so I don't know how this works, but as far as I'm aware, it says when someone feasts, so I'm guessing if you eat, then there's a chance you could, you could poop out a shard. I think that's how it works. I honestly don't know, but we're gonna try. So if I do that, and then maybe if we eat again. No shard. Alright, that's fine. We're just gonna go for a little runabout then. And see what we can find. I keep forgetting that I have my... I have the amulet on that allows me to see the dark. So everything looks a little bit strange, but you know what, let's have a run around. I'm just going to do a little bit of circle running, and we'll see if this is actually how it works. I could be doing this completely wrong. It could be like if a mob eats or something. I don't know, like, we'll see. But I'm running. Not get... Ooh, I stepped on the vines. I haven't actually done any upgrades to any of my gear between this and the last episode. I've literally just been making that place, but a couple of days I haven't been able to play on here. Well, a little bit longer than a couple of days, about 3-4 days, because of the issue I had. But now that I've sorted it out, it's pretty good, which is always nice. Here we go, getting up a bit of hunger. Let's get a little bit more. And the reason I'm doing cookies is because, well, they don't really give you any hunger back, do they? So, yes. And I think cookies will work. I didn't really want to use any modded food, because the modded food might not trigger it if that's what it needs. So I try to stay away from that. Any shards? Oh, there we go. Work, like a shard. That's amazing. Okay, all right. Well, I need 4 of these shards. So I'm gonna run around and go mental. I'm sure you guys don't want to see me running in circles for half the episode, and we will be back with our gluttony shards. I'm amazed that worked. I thought I would look in the comment section and see loads of people going, you spent 10 minutes running around in a circle when you could have just done this. But hey, we got a gluttony shard. Alright guys, I shall see you in a minute. Alright, I managed to get 4. It took ages. I'm on 3 biscuits left. The last 2 took a lot longer to get than the first 2, put it that way. But we did do it. I was thinking while I was doing it, you're probably better actually eating like carrots or something. I think the only reason I choose cookies is because in the little description for the ring it mentions cookies, and I was like, oh, cookies aren't that bad. And then when it came to actually doing it, I was like, well, actually, maybe eating some of the rubbish from Pam's or like these things, like eating those probably would have done the trick a little bit more. So yeah, but if you do it, maybe a little bit more forward planning is probably best. Carrots would probably be a good niggle for you right there, but so let's make our way back to base. Alright, so we've got the bits that we need. I also grabbed myself a piece of grass from the overworld before we came here, because we're going to need this later on today as well. Let's see if we can get some music on without Minecraft button in. Or the regular Minecraft music button in. You can do a little dance. You can do a little dance right there, Mr. Bighorn Sheep. Cool beans. Alright, so we need gluttony of shards. Or some shards of gluttony. Does that say gluttony shard? Oh, it does. And we also need a mundane ring. Sweet. And let's have a look at the other bits that we're going to require. So I believe this is in the Apocrypha. I can never pronounce that. Apocrypha? Something like that. We need one of these guys, and we need a diamond. So a diamond, some ring bits, and this is all done inside our arcane work table. So let's give this a try and see how it works. I got a spell band in here, which is good, so we should be able to do this. So we want you, and we want you, and we want you guys. Sweet! Gives us a ring of nutrition. So now, when we eat these, we should get, a better nutritional value out of them. We haven't got apple core, so we can't see the amount of the nutritional value of each item that we eat, but I guess that's better than nothing. I'm going to take off my band of aura, because I've actually got a fairly decent amount of mana now that basic generation isn't going to help us out that great deal. But let's find our Britannia bag, and we'll pop you in there. Sweet. Alright, so hopefully that's going to help out, means I don't have to make so much food all the time. I would like now to make something that's going to help with our farmic research, because one thing I always do with Farmcraft, and I always manage to do this, is run out of aspects all the time. I've set these guys up here, these deconstruction tables, and I've thrown in a stack of crafting tables in each one of them, because crafting tables give you pretty much all of the primal aspects, which is very cool, but, you know, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, always clicking on them and doing it this way. So, I found a flower from Forbidden Magic that might be able to help us out just a tad. If we have a look down here, we've got the Whisperweed. So, and for you guys that don't know what Forbidden Magic is, it's basically a crossover mod between Farmcraft, Botania, Witchery, and Blood Magic. So, yeah. But a busy thaumaturge has better things to do than run around in the field researching things. To save yourself many hours pulling stacks of cobble apart, you've created a flower that's in touch with the supernatural flow of the universe. The Whisperweed is a magical plant which uses mana to whisper scraps of arcane knowledge into the ears of anyone nearby. Prolonged exposure to its unearthly murmurs may have a negative effect on your physique. However, so, I don't know if this is actually going to be bad for us eventually. It could be, but it does sound pretty cool, doesn't it? Now, we only need a few things. We only need a redstone root. Oh, man, I really, really hope that we have some regular grass around here. Because we need that. Is that regular grass? It is. Sweet. Alright, let's grab our Botania bag, and we'll quickly trim ourselves another bit of this. There we go, good stuff. Yeah, I only brought one with me. We're actually going to need two to be able to do that. So, redstone roots. I think it's pretty much just a piece of grass and a piece of redstone. I think that's how it works. Let's have a look. Yeah. So, we're going to need some redstone. Let's see if we have any redstone. We do, which is great. I actually, for a second then, I was like, oh man, we didn't bring redstone. But we did. So we need you to get a redstone root. We've also got our grass. Let's put our gluttony shard away in there. So we need one of those. And let's have a look at the other bits we need. We need a particular type of rune as well. And I think I've got all the rune bits for it. We need a rune of envy. So let's have a look at the rune of envy. It's going to require a rune of winter. Is that winter? Yeah, a rune of winter, water, and 2 mana diamonds. Okie dokie. I think I've got these. I've been making runes trying to get ready for any point in which we're actually going to need it. As well as a couple of diamonds, which is good. Actually, we've already got one in there, so we only need 1 diamond. There we go. You guys can go back in there. And you can come with me. Cool beans. So we need a rune of water. Grab you. And a rune of winter. Sweet. And that should do it for us. Yeah, rune of winter, rune of water, and 2 mana diamonds. Sweet. So place you there, we'll place you there. And let's get our mana diamonds. Boom, boom. And now we just have to give it a slap with our wand of the forest. And we should be able to go ahead and make ourselves one of these guys. I think we only get 1. We might get 2. I don't know. But yeah. Look at that fancy little thingamabob going around inside there. Isn't that strange? Isn't it weird? It's different. We're actually going to need some... No, not you. Not you. Oh, man. Why have you done this? Thing falls. I need to place all of these with the lily pads at some point. But we are going to need some living rock as well. Now, this could take a little bit of time because it is one of those things that, you know, is a little bit more expensive. So let's look at the other bits that we need while that's doing has fine. So we need those. We need a grey mana petal and a purple mana petal. Okay, so let's get these as well. So we want a grey and a purple. And we need to infuse these with mana so that we can use them. So let's do that first. So we'll place you in there. And you in there. And you two can go back in there. Cool beans. So there's those 2 taken care of. And the other bits we're going to need is a regular piece of grass. We are going to need another mana diamond, as well as a knowledge fragment and some amber. So let's get ourselves... Oh my god, I did it again. I did it again. Every time I go to click on the chest, I do that. So we need 1 more mana diamond. You can do that. Cool beans. We're also going to need a knowledge fragment, and we're going to need some amber. So let's grab that. I think I have some. Yeah, 4 knowledge fragments and amber. Cool. And I think that should be the most of it. Yeah, we just need our Rune of Envy, 10 of all primal aspects, and a piece of grass. And that should do the trick for us, which is going to be great. So I don't know how well this is going to work, but if it does give us additional research points, then I'm all about that. So let's throw you in here. And we'll give you a slap. Boop. Oh, that gave me 2. That's really good. So let's place one of them in there. Cool beans. I've set my chest out so we have the 3 different types of runes. There's 3 different sets of runes. You have the elements. You have the different types of, months of the year. So you have your winter, autumn, summer, such and such. And you have the deadly sins. So, I find it easier just having them out like that. Eventually, we're going to go into Fulmic Energistics. That's one I really want to try out. And we have got it in here. It is this one. And this runs us through all of this. We've actually got a little bit more open now that I can be learning. So eventually we're going to go into this. And we'll be able to store our aspects inside an A network. I've never tried doing that before. I don't know how that's going to work. But it does seem pretty cool. Alright, so let's try this one out. So we've got enough in there. So I wonder if this is a shapeless recipe. So let's just throw stuff in there. And see what happens. No. that is going to be a pain in the butt. I wonder if I can actually shift-click them in there. What's the name of the fleur? It is a whisperweed. Okay, let's have a look. Whisperweed. Okay. So this is made inside a... Oh, it is a shapeless recipe. What did I miss then? Did I miss something? It's made in an arcane work table. Requires grass. Mana diamond. Pretty sure I did this. What is that? Euclid daisy? Okay, alright, well, we'll do it this way. So I'll place you in there again. We'll have... those two look the same. We'll do you, and you, and you, and you, and knowledge fragment. Why am I not getting anything? Am I kind of failing somewhere around here? I'm pretty sure that was purple mana petal, grey mana petal. Oh, I know why. We used a light grey mana petal. We need a regular mana petal. This gets me all the time. I always get them. It's like I'm pretty sure it's only the grey ones that do this to me. I always get it wrong. So we need a dark grey mana petal. There we go. Okay. Thought I was going mental for a second there. Turns out I actually was. But we can remedy that very easily. So now we've got a grey mana petal. Boom. Yes, one whisperweed. They're nuts. So this guy's going to take in mana, and it should give us knowledge. So, for all of this sort of stuff. So hopefully that's going to be the trick. I don't know if I want to bring it over this way, though, but we'll try over here for now. And we've got 3 separate pools which aren't being used for anything. So this one's being used for iron fusion, so I don't really want to play with this one. But this one's looking good, this one's looking good, and this one's looking good. We've actually got a huge amount of backed up mana over here, look. Check that out. The reason was I had a vine come down here and it got in the way of the mana burst. I didn't have a ball lens on, I just got the regular efficiency lens because we need that to make sure that it reaches here and doesn't lose anything. And because it was there for so long, these guys were drying up and I was thinking, well, maybe these just don't make that much anymore. Turns out I was totally wrong. This guy was full the whole time. I only noticed when all the flowers started lighting up and I was like, oh no, is it broke somehow? And it turns out I was just horribly wrong. So, let's place you... Maybe just place you around here. We'll see what happens. You've got mana, which is good. So am I just going to get, arcane knowledge? Randomly? Is that how it works? Oh, look, there we go. We just got some terror. Nice. It's a little bit slow... But I guess you can't really moan about that. I don't know its size of influence. I don't know how big it stretches. If we stand over here, are we going to get some? Do we have to do anything? I don't think we do. We'll just give it a second. See what happens. The good thing was, it wasn't really that expensive to make. Which is, that's nice. So if we need to make more of these, we can do. Oh, there we go. Look, we just got some ignis. So I think it might be worth, shelling out a few a few items here and there to make a few of these whisper weeds and have like a little section along there full of whisper weeds. We could actually have them, if we have a little look, you see, we could have some whisper weeds like along here. Like you can see where we've got these glowstone bits. I could replace those with whisper weed, and then we could have them sitting there. We could have some mana coming underneath, so it kind of sits around here. We can have, if we had a mana pool here, chances are it probably would stretch to those. Yeah, it might be pushing it a little bit, but if we did that, that'd be pretty good. I don't know how much mana this actually uses. Let's find out which pool it's connected to, because it'll be connected to, I think it's going to be that one, but let's have a look. Yeah. Oh, no, we got some Decidia. Ah. Ooh, it has used a lot of mana up, though. Maybe this guy is pretty expensive to run. Or maybe we just... No, that was a lot of mana. I don't know how much... This uses a lot of mana, doesn't it? It's a lot more than I thought it would use, just for a couple of aspects here and there. It's still cool nonetheless, but I guess this is why this is why we play with stuff, to try and figure out whether we're actually going to use it in the long run. I think if we had a large amount of mana, and at the minute, we're using day blooms and nightshades, so I'm going to have to really sort this out at some point, otherwise we're never going to be making a lot of mana. I've got a plan on how to get a lot of mana, but not yet. Yeah, so once we get a decent amount of mana, we can have some of it coming over here, and then we can have our daisies along here, or our whisper weeds along here, and then we should be getting a buttload of research points so that we can do all of our research, which is going to be, mega important, and I don't have to keep, doing this with these guys, which I don't really mind doing, but it's just, I'd rather be doing something else and have a little flower whispering to me, if that's a thing. But there we go, guys. So we've had a look at a couple of things in Forbidden Magic. I want to go through a lot more of them. There's a ton of items to be going through. And as we do more research through regular Farmcraft, and as we research more items, because there's still a lot of items I'm yet to research yet. I haven't gone through all my stuff yet. But as we go through the rest of those, we'll be able to make the rest of these. There are some more daisies down here that I've not made yet, but these might help. Like the Euclid daisy. I need the Arcanian fusion for that, so I haven't gone into that yet. Plus Sailor's Mundus, so we're a little bit off doing that just yet. But this one is ethereal essences are an extremely useful source of essentia and are a very important ingredient in Thaumaturge's salt. Unfortunately, it can be very difficult to come by. Wisps aren't exactly common, and no self-respecting Thaumaturge wants to stoop to smashing open a node. So by combining Thaumaturgy and hedge magic, you create a flower that can use mana to rip open the fabric of reality. The rip isn't stable enough to form a node, but it does stay open long enough to drop a single wispy strand of essence. Applying a redstone signal to the flower causes it to stop. So if we made one of these, I've got a feeling it's going to use a lot of mana to do it, but it's going to open up a small rift and give us some wispy essence. And wispy essence becomes fairly important later on, so the more of that we can get, the better. Oh no, I got a little bit of aqua, a little bit. Oh, they gave me two just then. I got aqua and auto. Oh, well there you go. But yeah, we can go into that one, and the other flower that we have access to eats up taint. So if you ever watched my little Farmcraft Let's Play, we had the house, and whenever we did this stuff and we had a little bit left, we had taint come out, the horrible gooey stuff come all over the place that was nasty, and it can infect us and make us ill and whatnot. The other flower will eat that, so when it comes out, it eats it up and it turns it into mana. Pretty cool, right? I don't know how much mana it actually makes, probably not a great deal, but for me, it doesn't really matter about making the mana. The main thing is it cleans up for me. We don't want to mess all over the place with green gooey stuff all over our platform, so if we can have a flower do that for us, I'm all over that. Oh yes. Cool beans. Alright guys, well that's going to be that for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, of course, you can leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe to see more. Again, apologies for the lack of FTB Infinity episodes over the last few days. It's been a bit of a pain in the butt trying to fix the pack, but it's done now, so we can resume. Have yourself a great day. Have a good one as always, and bye-bye.